Okay, well, here is what was going on in me today as I was preparing. Always know, you know, what's the old saying? When a teacher prepares, God prepares the teacher. As I prepare for whatever's coming up, whether I'm teaching or like this rainbow cleanse, I always pay attention to what's going on in my own heart, because whatever's going on in my heart, a lot of times what God is wanting to do in those who attend the 7 day rainbow cleanse, He wants to do in their heart. Does that make sense? So, for example, I was in South Africa and I was teaching at a church, and I'm like, man, I had nothing. And it's like, what is it? What is it, God, that you want to communicate? I had to teach a whole big Sunday service, and it was in Durban. And I literally pulled up to the car. I'm like, God, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? What's on my, nothing was like, aha for me. And so I even walked in the church, and yeah, God moved. It was real special. It was more of a prophetic theme and more of a prophetic flow. But afterwards, it wasn't but about a few months afterwards, and I had an aha moment. And it's like God said, Kelly, a lot of times, because what was happening in my heart at the time was like, God, you are abandoning me. You're jumping ship. You're not here. How come you're not speaking to me? I usually hear you clearly, and I'm not hearing you clearly right now. And so I just went in there blindly. And that's probably the best place to be at that moment. But then it's like a couple months later, and God said, Kelly, what he was teaching me was, and this was such a great lesson for me as a teacher, but what he was showing me is what you were experiencing is what I wanted to communicate to the people at that time, that I'm not going to abandon them, that what I was feeling is how they were feeling. And I love that. And so today, as I was preparing for the Rainbow Cleanse, sort of getting the flow of the comments coming back and forth, and I always look at the big picture, and I feel like that's one area that I love to look at, the big picture and what God's saying, especially when He draws women together. And so today I wrote down, I sort of was pondering on some things, and I was getting ready to write a blog post, and I thought, nah, that needs to be for later. And so I posted something else, and about that time, um, I came across an article talking about color, and it says color communicates our feelings, our ideas, and emotions. And so it's like, if you're on here and watching, what is your favorite color? When you think of it, uh, um, I love the purples. Like today, I've got this on. I love the purples and the jewel colors. But it's like our color impacts us and communicates to us our feelings, emotions, ideas. And it's like, oh, I never thought of it like that. I knew that during the last rainbow cleanse that color triggers smell. When you think of blue, for me, I automatically begin tasting and smelling those blue snow cones, or cotton candy. Or when you think of pink, what do you think of? I think of red. What do you think of? Red roses. I had a big, beautiful vase of roses here last week. And so color will trigger immediately a smell. And so we learned that in our last rainbow cleanse. And so today, as I was pondering on this, color communicates our feelings, ideas, and emotions. I started thinking about how color plays a huge role in our culture. Color plays a huge role, I wrote down, in our upbringing, how we were brought up. There was a world of color that we were in. Our life's experiences, I wrote down, my culture, religions, and I started thinking about that. Color might mean one thing to you, but it means something else to my friends in Asia. For example, red. Red here in the US, in the Western, I wrote down, it symbolizes a lot of times passion, love, and usually anger, with red. But in the Asian culture, red can, and I never even looked, I mean, I have seen this because I lived in Asia, but I never connected it with the rainbow cleanse until today. And so it was like, in my Asian friends, it means like good luck. If any of your Asian friends are, my Asian friends are on here, go ahead and comment down there what red means to you. Or here in the West, what does red mean to you? And so these are just my thoughts and ideas when I was reading this article. Red in Asia is good luck, happiness, prosperity, especially when it's Gong Xi Fa Chai, when it's Chinese New Year. They give the Eng Bao, little red packets filled with money. And if you're single, you get a red packet. And so, with money in it. And so that means it's good luck. I also read where at the stock market, red is means the stock market's up for the Asian. It means good luck for them. But for us here in the West, it's down. It doesn't mean it's not a good thing. And so I began thinking of that. And then I was triggered a memory. So you see, watch what this does. Let me see here, make sure I got everything going correctly. As we prepare, things are surfaced in our hearts where you least expect it. And that's what happens in the 7-day rainbow cleanse, where you least expect it. You come in for one thing thinking you're going to get some good recipes, and we do. We do the intermittent fasting. We do introduction to intermittent fasting, I should say. I teach about your body cycles and learning. The recipes are all played out with the body cycles. They flow with your body cycle. It doesn't mean you have to buy everything in the pantry. I had said this before. Someone asked, "Oh, do I got to buy everything on that pantry list?" No, no, no. You might just choose one recipe a day, and that's okay. And so everything is organized specifically for a reason that I have throughout the Rainbow Cleanse, because I want you to taste and see what goes on physically in your body when you set time aside and you are introduced to intermittent fasting. I want you to taste and see what your body does and how it responds when we eliminate sugars and we increase our fats and we go into ketosis, so to speak. You at least got to go into at least a 17-hour of the intermittent fasting, but that's all not about tonight. That's all in the Rainbow Cleanse. But yeah, so don't worry and fret over that. But anyway, so as I was thinking today, I was wondering about all the color and what it means. It means something different to one person than it might mean to another. And I was reminded years ago, at one time you could look at my wardrobe and everything in my wardrobe was black, white, or gray. Everything. And I began pondering, why was that? Everything was black, white, and gray. One, they say black makes you look smaller. I guess that's what I was thinking. And so everything was black, white, and gray. And so I had pondered, I thought, what the heck was going on in my life at that time? And I remember even organizing my closet, all the dark, dark blacks. Hi, Raleigh. Happy birthday to your hubby. Give him a hug for us. And so I'd look in my closet and everything was blacks, whites, and grays. And I would put them in that order. And then I realized it was during that season of my life was really a sad time. It was during that season I remember, I won't say names because it wouldn't be honoring, but there was a person that told me, if you wear color, you just want to be noticed. You just want to attract people. You just want to show off kind of thing. And I didn't wear color. And so there was that season. It was a long season. And it was not Bob Parr that did that. And so it was a long season of just being really sad and a lot of stress and a lot of really a tough time in my life. But you see, color was representing my emotions. Color was representing how I feel and what was going on in my life at that time. Now, this is just for me, okay? This is what God did in my heart today. And so he reminded me of that. Then he reminded me, those of you that have been hanging around me long enough here in our daily detox group, in 2016, when I started seeing peacocks everywhere. And today, God reminded me of the peacock. And Kelly, it's okay to show off your colors. Kelly, let me see you, Raleigh. We're saying it's so cool and good to hear you and see you. Oh, I wish I could hear and see you too, Raleigh. Miss you girls very much in Blue Springs, Missouri. And so, as God was showing me, how color, Kelly, you communicated color through my emotion, my sadness, my really tough time, lots of tears and lots of really tough times and a lot of fearful times. And so he said, and I was reminded of that as I read the article today. And then he reminded me of the peacocks. And the last 6 years, he's been showing me the peacocks. And it's like my cousin said, Kelly, it's like everywhere I go, peacocks show up. And he says, Kelly, how about everywhere those peacocks are, you show up? And I'm like, oh, yeah. And so it's during that time God said today, Kelly, I created you to show off and show up. And there it is again, just show up. And so I'm just showing up here and let's see what God does. What does he want to communicate to us? But today, as he was preparing my heart for the rainbow cleanse, he communicated that it's okay for me to wear color. It's okay for me to be expressive. When I lived in Asia, I had two of my very best friends. I've got lots of friends in Asia, but two of the girls that I was really close to, Nora, if you're on here, and Wai King. And I gave those girls permission to always tell me if I stepped out of or offended them in their culture, because I wanted to learn the culture. And it takes years and years to experience a culture. You know, there's so many layers. And so they were so good because I was too flamboyant. I was too expressive. And I always tried to hide behind Bob and hi, Renee, and hide behind Bob and calm down, you know, and not be so explosive with my personality, so colorful. Maybe it's the Latino in me. Maybe I just want to express. And today, God affirmed it over and over. All afternoon, I've been thinking of this. That Kelly, it's okay to wear color. It's okay to express color. Express your emotions, your feelings, your ideas. And I get to do that in the Rainbow Cleanse. He's done that. He has, what has been birthed in my heart. You know, I've always wanted to combine the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. I don't think we do that well enough, I should say, because it's like we go to church and we think, okay, that's our spiritual aspect, or we have our quiet time and think that's our spiritual. But you see, God wants to enter into not just that, but he wants to come into the kitchen with you and cook. He wants to go to the grocery store with you. He wants to be expressive in you and through you as well, in all areas and aspects of your life, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So as he began showing me this, I wanted to bring together all of that in cleanses, and that's what I see when I saw the rainbow cleanse. Now the last couple of years it's evolved and it's growing, it's getting better and better, and I'm like, oh, I'm seeing things I didn't see before. And just like with the peacock, it's like, oh, the colors, I'm seeing what I didn't see before. And today I'm seeing again what I didn't see before. And so every time I do this rainbow cleanse, jump in with me. And because we never know what's going to take place. We never know what God's going to do. And when you women communicate with me and I see what he's doing in your life, stuff just happens. So just show up, just like I'm doing tonight. I'm just showing up. I just want to jump on here for just a few minutes and show up and see what he's wanting to do in our hearts and in our lives. So I don't know where you are with color and how you communicate color. You know, how do you decorate your homes, girls? Hi, Miss Renee. You know, what colors do you use in your home? Renee, what do you use in your home? Ollie, what do y'all use in your home? Tanya, you go girl. Much love. Where you? Oh, oh, New Zealand. Oh, I wish we could be there. Ah, Tanya, Tanya, Tanya. I think of our INS, or no, prophetic preaching and teaching school. Yeah. So yeah, how do you all express color? Oh, I can hear you, Tanya, now. I can hear you. I can squish my nose up against some screen. Okay, Kelly, come on, let's go. Okay, so how do you communicate color? What is it that God's wanting to express in you? What's holding you back? When I couldn't communicate color or I felt like I was being shut down, when that particular person that was very close to me told me that, you know, oh, you just want to show off, or oh, you just want to get attention. And it's like, oh, today I realized I could almost feel myself going back in there. And I wrote down here, I felt like a prisoner. I wanted to connect with my emotions. I wanted to give my emotions time to feel what I was feeling. I wanted to sit in that where I was. And I felt like a prisoner, unable to express myself. No wonder I was so sad. No wonder it was a difficult season of my life. I was locked up. I was in like a dark cell. Everything in my wardrobe was blacks, grays, and whites. Everything around me, there was no color anywhere. And it was like I was longing to be free. So I just speak into each one of you girls that's watching this, that you step out of your comfort zone. You step out of who told you you couldn't express yourself. Who told you that you couldn't be who God's created you to be? Don't let anybody shut you down. Don't let anybody, do the war cry. Do what God's called you to do and come out of hiding. And that's what this rainbow cleanse is about. It's about, yes, it's about food, but it's more than just about food. I love it. I love how this rainbow cleanse touches every area of our hearts. How do you express color? What is it? Take a look at yourself. What is it that you're afraid to do, or that you've been intimidated by somebody? Someone's told you something or spoken over you. Color is all around us. As we step into the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, that Trinity, that dance, that triune dance I talked about, as we step into that dance, He like steps into us. It's Him and us, and we're in Him. And as we're dancing, we dance. Color just goes and goes. And, it's what is that called? Where all the colors, the borealis, or I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it's like colors light up. Your heart is expressed. And it's like the peacock. We just fan our tails, so to speak, even though that's the male peacock. But I've got big feathers, big color, big bold colors. And so do you. And maybe you express it differently than I do, but that's who God created me to be. And that's who I want to be. And so I am excited for this cleanse to begin. I'm excited to step into this place and express what He's wanting to do in my heart, because I know He'll want to do it in yours. I know He is doing it in yours. But it's time for us women to rise up. It's time, perhaps, to be able to express ourselves freely, not in that prison cell like I felt like today, that I was reminded of being in lockup, locked down, like we are the last couple of years. Well, that's how I felt. I remember that feeling so well, as if it was yesterday. But it's like God spoke to me today. Kelly, that's how I created you, to express yourself. So color looks different to each one of us in our cultures. As I said, how color, because of your culture, where you've come from, your upbringing, your experiences, your religion, everything is based on color. And so just want to continue to invite you into my rainbow cleanse. I hope you can, I'll post the link again below, that you can go and you can check it out. I'm glad I finally did this. And hugs to everybody in New Zealand, hugs to everybody around the world who's watching this. You all have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.